Welcome to our annual Family Friends of Scouting presenter training. My name is Ken Bruner and I'm the Director of Development and Marketing for the Dan Beard Council Boy Scouts of America. And I'm excited today to review with you this year's materials to help give you the resources you need to prepare for our Family Friends of Scouting presentations. At this time, I invite you to download the presenter playbook on the webpage in order to help follow along. This playbook is your personal guide for effectively giving presentations. You'll also find page numbers in the top right corner throughout the video that correspond to the page number in your guidebook. We will cover the main areas of the playbook in our training today and encourage you to look through the rest of the playbook as you prepare. Let's get started. We want to make this year's campaign one of our best yet, and I'm excited to share with you our new campaign theme, Scout Me In. You may recognize this from our other materials, and we think the Scout Me In brand aligns our message and fits perfectly with Friends of Scouting. Scout Me In says, count me in. Count me in to make a difference, count me in to support Scouts, and count me in to make a contribution to support our local youth. So we ask you to say, Scout Me In, and invite others to join you as you share your story about the impact of scouting during your presentation. This year we also have a new set of campaign materials and images like the one on your screen to help support you. They feature the impact that scouting has on our youth and our community. We have posters, social media graphics, and more, and encourage you to utilize these for your presentation. Now let's take a look at our timeline. This year, we are aiming to have all of our presentations scheduled by the end of the year. So if you're helping to schedule a presentation with a unit, please keep that in mind. In addition, we'd like to have all presentations conducted by April 30th so that we can effectively wrap up the campaign and move forward to fun summer activities. Work with your Friends of Scouting chair, scheduler, and team to confirm your presentation dates. We'll talk more about those individuals in a minute. But first, why Friends of Scouting? It's important that we share with our units and families what the annual Friends of Scouting campaign is and exactly how it supports their unit. Friends of Scouting helps to ensure that we can continue to deliver an incredible scouting program to all of our local scouts. It supports many of the behind-the-scenes costs that create the quality program for our kids. Here are just a few quick examples. It provides hundreds of trainings that help our leaders deliver fun, impactful, and safe programs. Provides 4 major camping facilities here locally for us to use throughout the entire year to provide great program. And it ensures that every child is able to participate in scouting no matter what their family circumstances, such as nearly 1,200 kids who receive assistance each year. And it also provides year-round service to volunteers and parents just like you. It's important to note that your presentation is also an opportunity to share the bigger picture of scouting with our families, to help them understand how their local unit fits in with over 30,000 other families in Southwest Ohio and Northern Kentucky. Dan Beard Council is the backbone of scouting, and that provides many resources to help scouting happen, many of which our parents may not be aware of. We also provide for you some quick tips and facts that you may want to familiarize yourself with. Things like scouting is a nonprofit organization that relies on local support to operate. Family Friends of Scouting contributions directly support the youth of parents and scouting volunteers, and all contributions stay local. You don't have to memorize all of these facts, but pull a few of the highlights out that you can use during your presentation or to fall back on to help answer questions. Let's take a quick look at a few of the other campaign positions that you may be working with. First, we'll review the unit champion. This is a person in the unit who has agreed to champion the campaign for the unit. You'll want to talk and work with this individual several times throughout the presentation process in order to secure the details of your presentation, make arrangements for that night, and how best to communicate with families before and after the presentation itself. The unit champion should be your number one advocate and can help to introduce you at the presentation. You can also work with this individual to determine the best way to send pre-communications out to the family and follow up with them if they were not present. Now, it's important to note that each district and each unit is a little bit different. In some cases, your District Friends of Scouting team may have already helped to schedule the presentation time and to identify a unit champion for the unit you're working with. In other cases, you may be helping to assist in that process. Either way, having a good unit champion is one of the key components of the campaign because this person knows the families in the room and they will help to positively set the stage for you and help feel ownership in reaching the unit goal. Be sure to have a conversation with your district team to understand which parts you may need to assist with. Now let's talk about the District Family Friends of Scouting scheduler. This member of the District Family Friends of Scouting team helps to reach out to units and schedule the date, time, and presentation details. They are an initial point of contact with the unit. As a presenter, you'll work with the scheduler to coordinate these details and make plans for your presentation. The next position is the Unit Friends of Scouting presenter. That's your role. You'll work with the district scheduler and District Family Friends of Scouting chair to determine which units you'll be visiting to conduct a presentation, and if there are any specifics for that unit, such as that they still need a unit champion. You'll want to be sure to contact the unit well before the presentation, and ultimately it will be your role to deliver a quality Friends of Scouting presentation with the materials provided. You may need to follow up with the members of the unit and should plan to ideally return presentation materials within 24 hours. Let's take a deeper look at your role as the presenter. In your guidebook, you'll find a presenter checklist. We've broken this into sections for you. First is starting today after this training. Work with your district scheduler or district executive to confirm the unit presentations that you will be covering, who the unit champion is, and if they have set a goal for that unit. Begin reaching out to the unit champion to introduce yourself and start to make arrangements for your presentation. This will help you as you get closer to the presentation date. Discuss an introduction and make plans to distribute a pre-communication, email, or letter to the unit to inform them about the upcoming presentation. The next section of the checklist covers items that should occur about 2 weeks before the presentation. Work with your district executive or stop by the Danbury Council to pick up your packet of materials. You'll want to reach back out to the unit and confirm the presentation details with them. Things like the date, time, the location, the room you're going to be in, and where you are on the agenda for the night. Sometimes these details will change from the initial conversation that you've had, so it's important to reach out again to make sure everyone is on the same page. Lastly, be sure to practice your presentation a few times prior to the presentation so that you are comfortable with your delivery. Make sure to express the big idea from the script. No gift to scouting is too small or too large, and we'd really love to see 100% of our families help to support scouting at some level. Every single gift is important, and we want all of our families to know that. Next are some items at the presentation. When you arrive, make sure to connect with the unit champion. Arrange to have some of the scouts do their good turn for the day and help to pass out the pens and the pledge cards. Share the scouting story and use the theme in your presentation. There is a sample script available to download. Explain that the real cost of scouting is $206 per scout each year, and ask them to consider a gift at that level. Show everyone the incentive gifts and remind them that they can pledge now and pay later if they would like. Be sure to collect all of the cards that night. The same scouts who pass them out can help you to collect them. Finally, at the bottom, you'll see a section covering after the presentation. Make sure to fill out the presentation report that we will cover shortly and turn in the packet of worked cards, ideally within 24 hours, to either your District Family Friends of Scouting chair or back to the Dan Beard Council. Follow up with any unworked cards or families who missed the presentation within 72 hours and work with the unit champion to assist with this if necessary. Either way, be sure to communicate back to your district executive who is doing the follow-up. Finally, call unit leadership to thank them because we greatly appreciate their willingness to host us. Let's take a moment to hear a sample presentation. Ideally, you'll have the unit champion or unit leader help to introduce you with something like the following. Hey everyone, tonight we have a special guest here, a fellow Scout parent here with us to talk for a few minutes about the local annual Friends of Scouting campaign. Parents, volunteers, community leaders, and businesses donate to Friends of Scouting to help make sure we have the resources that are required for us to operate. What Dave is going to share with you is very important. There are so many costs in scouting that we do not consider or even see, and it is up to each of us to help make a difference. Dave, before you get started, I'd like to present you with my Friends of Scouting gift for 2019, and I hope that each family in this room tonight will help to consider joining me in giving as well. We've even set a unit goal of $3,000. Dave, I turn it over to you. Thanks for that introduction, John, and as he mentioned, my name's Dave Williams, and I'm a parent and a volunteer with Troop 438. Thank you for allowing me just a few moments to share with you about my scouting experience and how it's impacted my family. Scouting is a huge part of my family's lives. I can remember back to the days when I was a scout myself, and I attended various campouts and things with my dad and built Pinewood Derby cars, and throughout the time, it really helped to develop me as a leader and turn me into the man I am today. And I've seen those same values carry over to my son. You are watching your child do a lot of growing up in scouting, learning skills, developing positive values, and helping others, and shouldering responsibility. Each parent and all of the leaders have worked together to offer our children opportunities they couldn't have anywhere else. The impact of Scouting program goes much deeper than all the fun we have together. Through once-in-a-lifetime experiences, our youth are preparing for a lifetime of leadership and success. But none of this just happens. Your troop is a part of Dan Beard Council, which serves 12 counties and over 30,000 youth and families in southwest Ohio and northern Kentucky. And the Dan Beard Council is the backbone of scouting that provides the resources to make great things happen, even though as parents we may not always see them. It is important to note that a gift to our Friends of Scouting annual campaign benefits our units by supporting program, camping facilities, training, unit recruitment support, and even insurance to protect our scout leaders and our youth. Here are just a few quick examples. Friends of Scouting provides hundreds of trainings that helps our leaders deliver fun, impactful, and safe program. Provides 4 major camping facilities here locally for us to use at any time. It helps to build incredible outdoor programs like Spookery and Summer Camp by keeping the costs low and making sure that the roof isn't leaking at the archery range. Did you know that the council invests nearly $1 million every year to operate those properties for us? Friends of Scouting helps to ensure that every child is able to participate in scouting no matter what their family circumstances, such as nearly 1,200 kids who receive assistance each year. And it provides year-round service to volunteers and parents like you and I. The annual fee we pay in scouting each year actually goes directly to the national office in Texas to help fund program development. So that leaves it up to caring community members like you and I to provide the funds needed to make our local programs thrive here in our neighborhoods. All of your gifts stay local. Now I want to share with you a short story. Somewhere tonight, there is a young person who will never see a pristine tree canopy, will never see the bright stars while camping. They will never make lifelong friends over a campfire, laughing, singing songs, and doing skits. That child will never see scouting because we did not have the funds to reach them. Friends of Scouting is a gift of scouting for future generations. So I'm here today to ask for you to be a friend of Scouting, to join me and thousands of other families who are saying, you can count on me, scout me in, to give a gift to Scouting. And here's the big idea we all need to understand, and please listen to this. There is no gift to Scouting that is too small or too large. Our hope is that 100% of our families provide a gift to help Scouting, because every single gift is important. You have in your hands a Friends of Scouting brochure which has a pledge card attached. Any gift will help, but let me share the reality of our Scouting program. The real cost for Scouts to be a part of our amazing program is $206 each year. So I'm asking you to please consider a gift to support one Scout at the $206 level. It is only through these gifts that the life-changing stories like the one I shared earlier can happen. It is up to us to make sure the Scouting program is available for our kids. Please join me in making an investment in our children's future. Now, I have a few recognition items here I wanted to share. Any level of gift tonight will receive a special Friends of Scouting recognition item to let people know that you are supporting Scouting. And if you choose to support one Scout for the year at $206, you will be recognized with this special edition Council shoulder patch featuring the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge. And there is even a silver and gold border edition for levels higher than that. And if you turn in your card now, you'll also be entered into a drawing for this Collector's Scouting wireless Bluetooth speaker, which we will give away to one lucky family here tonight who has turned in their card. So I ask you now, please take a moment to enter your pledge and sign your card. You can give your gift now or just simply make a pledge and note how you'd like to pay in the future. You can even spread the payments out over the remainder of the year. For example, a gift of $206 works out to be just over $17 a month. I also want to note that many companies now offer a matching gift, so be sure to check with your employer on their matching gift procedures. As you consider a gift, think about what Scouting means to you right now and what it means to your family in the future. I hope we can scout you in to make a difference. When you're done, please hold up your card in the air and our Scouts will be around to help collect them. We will tally the cards at the end of the night, and I know we will all be impressed with the generosity in this room. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you this evening, and thank you for your support. That was an example of a presentation that you might hear. Next, we're going to cover the section in your guidebook for common questions and objections. While most units are very receptive to helping to support Scouting, you may come across a few common questions or objections that you encounter. Our guidebook lists several pages of potential FAQs that can help to guide you. We will not cover all of them here, but I encourage you to read these over. One example is, our families can't afford or just aren't interested in Friends of Scouting. When you hear this, it's important to emphasize that every member really deserves an opportunity to give, and that Friends of Scouting is more than just giving, but also an opportunity to share some of the facts and the impact of the program so that our parents can see the bigger picture of Scouting. With this in mind, parents may even be more invested in Scouting and in your unit. Now we're going to take a moment to cover the parts of the presentation. In your guidebook, you'll see an analogy of the bow tie concept. There are actually 3 very important parts to conducting a successful presentation: the left wing, the center knot, and the right wing. We'll cover each of those. The left wing represents the time before your presentation, and this is often one of the most important parts. The more that we can do up front, the more likely the presentation will be a success and the less follow-up work there will be to do later. Work with your unit champion. Make sure to get some unit facts and weave them into your presentation to make it more personal. For example, did the unit go to Cub World this past summer? You might be able to comment on that. This is also where you identify your presentation needs, such as AV needs, where you are in the agenda, the introduction, and things like that. Be sure to work with your unit champion to send the pre-communication template letter or email out to the parents before the presentation. Now, the center knot. It represents the night of the actual presentation. Arrive early and meet the leader and the unit champion. Remember to stay within the total 10-minute guarantee. This is really, really important. The entire presentation should be complete within 10 minutes. And this includes passing out the cards, giving your presentation, and collecting the cards. Be enthusiastic and speak to the audience. Weave in your personal story and always use a microphone if there's one available. Remember to explain that it costs on average $206 per scout and ask them to consider a gift at that level. And remind them that they can make a pledge and they don't have to pay tonight. Ask for all the cards back that night and use the door prize incentive to help collect them. Cover the items passed out and the recognition items in your presentation. Now, the right wing represents the time period after the presentation. Complete the packet details and turn in the packet. Then, work with the unit champion to follow up with any families who could not be present or who gave in the past. It's important that you communicate the follow-up plan to your team following the presentation, as this will impact future call nights and mailings. As you can see, the presentation, or the knot, is actually a small part of the entire presentation, just those 10 minutes. And the pre-work that you do, along with the follow-up, the left and right wing, will help to make your presentation as successful as possible. Now let's cover a few key strategies for success that our top presenters have shared with us over the years. The first and foremost is communication. Over-communicate with the unit, your District Friends of Scouting team, and your district executive. We want to avoid missing a presentation because of miscommunication, and we want everyone on the team to be on the same page. If something didn't go as expected, share it so that we can all take the proper steps to make sure to follow up. The second key is to be at the beginning of the program for your presentation. That allows you to finish up the presentation so that the unit can move on to all of the other activities for the evening. If you are going last, it will be difficult to capture everyone's attention. Third, be sure to collect all of the cards before you leave. It is very difficult to follow up after that night. Use the door prize provided so that you can pick a name from everyone who has turned in their card that night. Now, we are going to cover the materials and paperwork that you can expect for your presentation. I referenced earlier that you have some materials to pick up prior to your presentation. As a presenter, you will get a presenter toolkit full of materials to help aid you. On the left of your screen, you will see a list of items included in the presenter bag. This includes the script, brochures, pens, unit participation ribbon, which every unit receives if they hold a presentation. You'll also have a door prize, which is a Boy Scout Bluetooth wireless speaker. And finally, the recognition items for those who make a gift. One of those is a special edition Council shoulder patch for those supporting one Scout at $206 or above. There is also a special silver and gold border edition of the patch for givers at the $350 level and the $500 level. You'll also have a packet of paperwork and literature in your bag. Let's take a look at this more closely. Here is a picture of your packet. This is where you'll record information on the packet cover about the presentation. Now we'll cover a few items in the packet. This next form is probably the most important form for you as a presenter. It is the presentation report. This is a carbon copy multi-part form. Fill in the details of the presentation. The first arrow on your screen shows where you can record the district and unit information for that particular presentation. Next, you'll actually record each one of the contributions and pledges made that night, along with the dollar value off to the right side. You can also record if the donor selected a matching gift by checking the box to the right. Finally, log the grand total of all of the pledges made that evening in the total area at the bottom of the sheet. One of the copies is for you to keep, and the rest you will turn back in. Also included in your packet are some sample letters, fact sheets, and more. All of these materials are available for download on our website. Visit www.danbeard.org/FOSpresenter to download these resources at any time. That concludes our training. Thank you for being a part of our Family Friends of Scouting campaign and serving as a presenter. Your completion of this training has officially been logged. Thank you for all you do for Scouting.